Welcome to Conversations from Stritch. Today is Thursday, October 30th. I'm Dr. David Livingston, President of Lewis University, and I'm joined by Dr. Christopher Sant, our Provost. I hope everyone is enjoying the fall weather and Halloween preparations. We have been out for 3 weeks, so it is good to be back. We have a lot to catch up on. So just a couple things. Last week, we took some weeks off. One of them was last week. Last week, Chris and I were in Washington, D.C., and we were advocating for our students and for Lewis, but also learning a lot from experts on the ground in D.C. about accreditation, educational law, and policy, and how to best prepare ourselves for what may be on the horizon in terms of federal policy, law, and funding. We also had this last week, and it was a crazy week, we had our Board of Trustees retreat on Friday and the fall meeting on Saturday, followed by Signum Fidei on Saturday night. We spent Friday focused on strategic planning and reviewing the core values that will underpin our strategic plan going forward. The next steps in the process will be the formation of the working groups focused on key pillars for the plan for 2026 to 2029. With the plan for the board, we expect to be ready for the spring board meeting in May, and they will hopefully finalize that plan. I just want to pause for a moment there and just say how important it is to have everyone in the community involved in the strategic planning process. So if you are invited to join one of the working groups, I really hope that you'll do that, whether you're a student, faculty, or staff. At the official board meeting on Saturday, the board finalized the FY26 budget, recognizing the impacts of the enrollment declines that we've been talking about related to visa approvals and the impacts of grant cancellations and the ICE presence across the Chicagoland area, as well as other impacts on our ability to enroll students. They approved, in addition to approving the final budget for the year, they also approved 2 new academic programs, the Bachelor of Science degree in Health Sciences and the Bachelor of Science degree in Artificial Intelligence. The Board of Trustees also reviewed, we got an update for them on the Christian Brothers Services pension plan. That pension plan was discussed, and I put it in my letter on Monday, and I just wanted to inform the community that there will be additional communication coming out tomorrow, and that I know there's been some anxiety whenever you mention something like the pension, so I just wanted to make sure people are aware that whatever they have into the pension is secure, and they should know that they will be receiving that in the future. And again, more communication coming out from our HR and CFO in the next, by tomorrow afternoon, so you can look forward to that communication. In terms of moving forward in the future, we are also had our annual Signum Fidei fundraiser on Saturday night. It was a great event, I just can't say enough. Kip and Allie on here. Allie used to be on the show representing, doing a better job than I do on this show over the last couple of years. She's now a professional in the industry, and we're really grateful that she was willing to take her time and join Kip Klein, our VP for Advancement. I was able to be there with everybody, and having it be my last Signum Fidei was a significant event. I just want to say to everyone involved, all the people behind the scenes that are also behind the scenes of this show that make it possible, the advancement team, everybody involved, but especially to our donors. We raised over $325,000 for the Mission Fund on Saturday night. As many of you know, that supports our students who are in greatest need when they have a real challenge in their life, a crisis that's going on. We also had a great deal of fun that night. You can see Dr. Sant dancing here, which I love that he's in there. And we also had an auction. We had great music. It was really so fun to see how many people came out. I think we had a record attendance. I know we had over 500 people there. It was just a great, great event. Community Hour yesterday featured Peace and Justice Studies community lunch, a lot of Halloween-focused club meetings and events, mass and community meal. And I got to say, I went to, I can only attend so many things, but I went to the Provost's Fall Address. It was excellent. So thank you, Chris, for doing that. Great update to the community, but not just an update to the community on things going on, but also some really deep reflections on who we are as a university, how we're positioned, where we're going, and what we care about. And one of the great things, and you may want to mention this, Chris, in your comments or add to mine, the opportunity to name the Unreasonable Hospitality Award for Jill Canaday. It was really a moving moment. She's incredible, and she is she'll be leaving the university. She took the early retirement option, and I know over in Stritch and across the university, we're all going to miss her. She's just an amazing presence and such a gift to the university. Tonight, Chris and I will be going over to the Bishop's Mass once a year. The Bishop of the Joliet Diocese has a Mass at one of our universities. This year, it's over at University of St. Francis in Joliet. And it brings together students and community members from Lewis, Benedictine, and St. Francis, and looking forward to getting together with other members of those three communities and being with Bishop Hicks. So a lot going on. Chris, you have other activities and things to celebrate that you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's great to be with everyone today. It has been 3 weeks, so we are catching up a little bit. But a lot really happened last week, and last weekend it was great to be with the board. Signum Fidei was really inspiring and amazing. So many people did such excellent work to make it successful. And I think you forgot to mention, President Livingston, that you were given an award, or not an award, a gift.
I was given a gift.
Of a tree that's going to be planted here on campus.
Yes.
And
also another tree that is sitting in my garage right now that I'll plant this weekend, a pawpaw out on our property out in Rochelle. So
both of them are pawpaw trees, which are native to the region, and so I think that was a really cool, thoughtful
It was wonderful, and
gift.
I am grateful. Yes.
And we hope you come back and go to Signum Fidei next year.
Yes, I will look forward to that.
It was wonderful. I just really want to thank Dr. Kurt Shackmuth and Dr. Jason Callaher, who worked together to create this new award at the university that celebrates unreasonable hospitality. And you can imagine what that represents, just people who work here that go above and beyond to provide a welcoming environment for each other, for colleagues across the university, as well as for guests to the campus. And it was really moving to see that they named that after Jill Canaday, and we look forward to granting that award this spring at the celebration of service. So turning to congratulations to faculty and staff accomplishments and some other events out in the future. Congratulations to Dr. Sheila Boyson, Professor of Organizational Leadership and Management, who recently released a book titled, I think I have to look down at the title here. That book is titled Leadership Development for a Transformational Future, The Vertical Edge, which is published by Routledge, most distinguished publishing house for scholarly work of this kind in the country, so amazing. Her book explores the need for vertical leadership development in a world full of constant, complex changes brought about by the digital revolution. Her research seeks to bridge the gap between traditional leadership development and modern demands of the working world. As we've talked about before, I'm co-teaching a leadership development class with Dr. Boyson, and I have not read this book, and I was just realizing today that we really need to check that out to really know the depth of what she's talking about.
Sure.
And I understand from knowing her, I understand the implications of that, but I could really learn a lot from reading that and look forward to it. Congratulations to students James Moriarty and Henry Gilson, who are undergraduate students in the history program, who, along with Lindsay Minus, who is a Lewis History major alumna, and Dr. James Talon, Associate Professor of History, who represented Lewis at the 15th Annual Midwest World History Association Conference, held October 10th and 11th at Thomas More University in Kentucky. The professional conference brought together historians, educators, and students from across the United States to share scholarship and promote the teaching of world history in global and comparative contexts. So I just love to read the names of the papers that people wrote. Moriarty presented a paper called An Insight into Thomas Aquinas and the Irish Question. You might be interested in that.
I would be.
Gilson presented a paper called Canine Warriors of the Vietnam War, Success, Tragedy, and Remembrance. Hold on to that thought, we're going to come back to it. And Minos presented a paper called Camel Racing in the Arabian Peninsula, a Cultural, Economic, and Historical Tradition. And Professor Talon presented in his area of expertise, which is Ottoman Studies, Sinking into an Uncharted Sea, Navigating the Memoir of a Russian Diplomat in the Ottoman Empire, which he presented with Mark Soderstrom from the Aurora University. Professor Talon has served on the executive committee of this Midwest World History Association since 2019, where he plays an active role in shaping the organization's direction and fostering collaboration among educators and historians. So that's all just amazing work, collaboration with professors and students, and incredible contributions at a national conference. So congratulations to Dr. Jake Cho, Professor of Computer Science, specializing in cybersecurity, who was recently invited to join as a new committee member for the International Standards Organization. For the past year, Dr. Cho has been advising on security controls for the intelligence traffic system as part of the ISO's Smart City requirements. He's now been invited to collaborate on the committee itself to review and define international standards. So people may be wondering what the ISO is. It's one of the oldest non-governmental international organizations, and it enables trade and cooperation between people and companies all over the world since 1946. International standards ensure that products and services you use daily are safe, reliable, and of high quality. And they guide businesses in adopting sustainable and ethical practices, helping to create a future where the things that you buy not only perform well, but also are safe for the planet. It's a really influential organization. Most corporations, global corporations, respect its recommendations, and its stamp of approval is a real sign of quality. And so it's really an influential place to be on that committee. Congratulations, Dr. Simone Mensch, who is a professor of English. She performed at the 40th Annual Printers Row Lit Fest in Chicago, alongside Illinois Poet Laureate Mark Turcott. She shared her writing at the festival on the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg stage. Printers Row Lit Fest is the largest outdoor festival in Chicago. There's a lot of outdoor festivals to compare to. Featuring hundreds of authors, booksellers, and literary organizations that offer a diverse variety of programs for all ages. Additionally, Professor Mensch was invited to teach a creative writing workshop abroad this summer at the Ionian Center for the Arts and Culture in Kefalonia, Greece. So yeah, I just want to pause. We talked a little bit yesterday, thanks to our conversation we had with the two men from the library.
Yes.
Continue to be inspired by the institutional repository, and I shared that
Yeah,
map.
it was great to have the map up
Once again, of all the global locations where faculty scholarship is being practiced. But I also think these announcements are a good reminder that our faculty work is international, global in nature, does not see borders, and is having great influence across the world. So looking ahead on the calendar a little bit beyond this week, I just mentioned that Professor Mensch was on stage at Printers Row with Illinois Poet Laureate Mark Turcott, and now I'm delighted that to say that he'll be coming to Lewis next week to speak at our fall 2025 Saponiac Lecture. He spent his earliest years on North Dakota's Turtle Mountain Chippewa Reservation and in the migrant camps of the western United States. Later, he grew up in and around Lansing, Michigan. He's the author of the books The Feathered Heart, Songs of Our Ancestors, a chapbook called Road Noise, a bilingual collection, Le Chant de la Route, and Exploding Chippewas. His work has appeared in many national and international literary journals and is included in the new, first ever Norton Anthology of Native Nations Poetry, which, like Routledge, is the gold standard of collections of poetry. He lives in Chicago and since 2009 has been senior lecturer and distinguished writer in residence in the English department at DePaul University. The legacy of Jim and Mary Claire Saponiak lives on through scholarships, Lewis University enhancements, and this amazing scholarship series that we love to go to every year. Mm-hmm. That's 2 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th in the university dining room. Also next Thursday, November 6th, we are very excited about the Reverend Kevin Speece Endowed Lecture on Contemporary Ethical Issues featuring Scott Likens, Lewis alumnus and Global Chief AI Engineer at PwC, delivering a keynote titled Navigating Ethical Issues with AI in Business. The lecture explores how organizations can balance innovation with responsibility amid rapid adoption of AI technologies, addressing ethical, social, and organizational challenges in areas such as generative AI, blockchain, and quantum computing. He will speak and we'll have a conversation with me on stage at 11 a.m. in Convocation Hall. And then we will go to Oak Brook, and he will go to Oak Brook, and he will participate on a panel discussion at 5 p.m. on that same day. Really look forward to that. We've seen him speak before. He's a really dynamic speaker and an expert in something that is really vitally important that we all learn more about. Pleased to announce an event called 50 Years Later, Remembering the Canine Warriors of the Vietnam War, presented by Henry Gilson, the student I mentioned earlier, who is a U.S. Army veteran and undergraduate here in the history department. That's 12:30 p.m. on November 11th in the university dining room. The Veterans Day presentation explores the courage, sacrifice, and legacy of the canine warriors who played vital roles during the Vietnam War. There'll be a Q&A session and a reception with, of course, a special appearance from Jet. Not a canine warrior. No. The Lewis University Police Department's comfort animal, comfort dog. Finally, the Philip Lynch Theater presents Airness by Chelsea Markentel with performances November 14th through 16th and November 20th through 23rd. Airness is a heartfelt comedy about a group of passionate air guitar competitors who discover that true victory comes from authenticity, friendship, and embracing one's inner rock star. It blends humor and heart to explore themes of identity, belonging, and the transformative power of performance. Really looking forward to that. Great topic. Haven't heard about or seen that before. I'm always excited when our theater department brings new to me plays to the campus. Yeah, I really feel, even just listening to all this, it feels like the second 8 weeks of the semester. Yes. Like things just begin to compress. Like I feel like time compresses every, you get to week 9, you get to week 10, 11, and all of a sudden you feel like, and I think you and I, you get to those last 3 or 4 weeks and every night, every day, all day long, our community is just showing what an amazing place it is. And it's partly our people, but it's also partly the connection. So when you talk about Dr. Mensch, it's her relationship with this poet that allows him to be here. Yeah. We have an alumnus like Scott that's going to be here. And then a student who's, there's just all these, every layer of the organization shows its ability to deliver for the institution. And as I always say, but this is really the time of the year to double down on it, there is so much to do that do not sit in your room and do nothing, because you will enrich your life. This is one of those few times in your life where you will be able to hear poetry in the afternoon and AI in the evening, or go to a play about air guitars and then go to a soccer match. Yeah. It's just really an incredible opportunity. And I know we don't probably say it enough, but everything we're talking about is free, open, everyone's invited and welcome, and don't feel any concerns about walking in to watch the soccer or walking in to watch the...
Yeah, if you're not a history major, you can still go to the history lecture. And if you're not a STEM person, you can still go to the AI thing and et cetera. I think that's really a great point to make, because it's a good way to make new friends.
Yeah.
Right? Go to something that you think is interesting. All right, so we also have, we've been talking about a lot of stuff, but let me talk about events coming up, both sporting events and other events. So on Thursday, today, we have a Tasty Treat in Darcy. We also have the Swanaween pumpkin painting by one of our sororities on campus, and the Latinx Testimonials Project session 3, as well as BSU's doing its Boo Batch, and we have Title IX Trivia Night also this evening at 5. Tomorrow in the stadium, women's soccer is playing UI Springfield, and in Neil Carey, women's volleyball hosts McKendree at 6. 7:30, Convocation Hall. Tomorrow night, we have American Guild of Organists, the Spooktacular. I can just imagine that, because I can, that sense of the organ, dun, 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 dun. I just think that's scary stuff. So go over to Convocation Hall if you want a little spooky organ playing. And then, of course, tomorrow night, right after the women's game, the men will be playing soccer under the lights against UI Springfield in the stadium. If we go on to this weekend specifically, we will have the pumpkin pitch. That from 9 to 12 on Saturday is our traditional post-Halloween, bring your pumpkin. But the other great part about it is bring your electronics, bring your other things that you just want to get out of your garage, out of your basement. It's really a recycling, not just the kind of composting of the pumpkins, but recycling in general. And we're really grateful to everybody over in Coast. They're the primary ones that do this. Men's hockey's playing against Denison. I really hope we win. So my daughter went to Denison. So that's a game, a contest that I hope we were able to win that one. And then women's volleyball, they're playing back-to-back. They're playing Missouri St. Louis on Saturday at 3. Sunday, women's soccer versus Indianapolis, both men's and women's, 12 and 2:30 starts, and then Sunday Mass, 7 o'clock in the chapel. Monday, we have, as you see on here, there's Cyber Defense Club. We do have in the Uptown the All Souls Day, Day of the Dead. That should say Day of the Dead, not Day of the Dean. Though we don't, we're happy to have our 5 deans go to Uptown, but we don't want our deans to feel like they're the Day of the Dead. So we also we'll have First Gen Flyers Club has a game night, and the Gay Pilots Association is meeting at 4 on Monday. We also, the university is doing a tour of Argonne National Lab. Chris and I were talking before the show started. We've been over there for professional reasons, seen Argonne. It is if you haven't been there, it is an incredible institution, and to have it really within a half an hour, I don't know what it takes, half an hour, 35 minutes to get there of our campus. We have 2 national labs, Argonne and Fermi, but Argonne is incredible, and we're just so blessed to have that. So if you've never seen one of those, it's an incredible place. I highly recommend it. The Business Analytics Club, as you see on here, the Chess Club, and Table Tennis Club all have meetings next Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have our community hour, lots of things going on. Best shorts films will be playing in the theater. We have all sorts of other things, First Gen staff and faculty panel to help our First Gen students, Mass and community meal, which always happens on Wednesdays during community hour, an improv jam. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So we really hope that you will take advantage of the next week of activities. It's an incredible week. And now we get to turn to our guest, which we're really excited to have our guest today. So Chris, you're going to introduce our guest?
Yes, I am. I'm really excited about it. Before I do, remember that you can email a question at askus@lewisu.edu, the email there at the bottom of the screen. And we are really pleased this week to be joined by Father Paul Novak. Father Paul is a member of the Order of Friar Servants of Mary, also known as the Servites, a community of priests and brothers founded in 1233 in Florence, Italy. Father Paul has been a Catholic priest for 35 years. His 25-year history with Lasallian education includes 23 years in the secondary education at De La Salle Institute, where he served as president, and the last 2 years here at Lewis University. He has also served the church as assistant pastor, vocation director, campus minister, theology teacher, golf coach, assistant provincial, and provincial. So we're excited to talk about some of those roles, especially the golf coach I'm looking forward to. Currently, his roles include university chaplain, and here at Lewis, an adjunct theology professor. He serves on the Board of Trustees at Catholic Theological Union and Servite High School in Anaheim, California. So we're really pleased to welcome Father Paul.
Thanks, Chris.
So glad that you're here.
Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it.
And thank you for your patience as we had to get caught up on 3 weeks of not
A little longer than usual, but there's a lot going on.
A lot going on around here.
So
I guess I'm the comic relief to this.
No.
All right, so I'm going to get right into it. So
Okay.
what is a university chaplain?
What does the university chaplain do, or what is their position about?
Both?
Both, yeah, you can share both.
Either.
The university chaplain pulls together the community of Lewis University and allows the community to encounter the presence of God in their lives and calls them into that encounter through prayer and through conversation and reflection and dialogue. So in the course of the last 2 years, I've done everything from baptizing faculty members' children to saying goodbye to Christian brothers who have served Lewis University for many, many years.
Sure.
So it's from birth to death.
So could you just maybe just to push into that? So those are kind of those signature events that might happen, like the passing of a brother. But in an average week, and put this in the mind of, let's start with a student. What are the opportunities in a given week? Week 9 of a semester, what could I do over in campus ministry? And in some sense, what I'm asking you and your team, what are the things that you provide for the community, Monday through Sunday that somebody could participate in? And I know there's always a variety of activities. There's some that are unique, but there's some that are somewhat repetitive. And I think not everybody knows what's available to them in terms of different ways of I guess as exploring their spirituality. Let me put it that way.
I got it. Okay. Well, there's 2 levels, right? A student, whether they're physically here on campus or one of our commuter students, may stop in the Mission and Ministry Center and stop in to have a conversation or a dialogue about something happening in their life. And it might lead to a more in-depth conversation about spirituality or about direction for their life. Sometimes I'm in this major and I'm not sure this is where I really want to go, but they want to have a conversation and we're a safe place to have that conversation. Sometimes I'm not sure where God is in my life, or I need to know how God is in my life. And can we have a conversation about that? And can you teach me something about the presence of God and how God is revealed? So I think all of us on the team, Margaret and Venus and Nia and myself, do a little bit of spiritual direction with everybody. And not that, we may not feel as comfortable being spiritual directors to our student body, but very often it's the entry level conversation that needs to happen, and then referral to something.
But then they also have opportunities for mass retreats. What else? What are the kind of, for lack of a better word, activities?
Activities, you want some of the activities that we have. We have 19 peer ministers on campus. 5 of whom are in the dormitories working with our freshmen. So what does a peer minister do? A peer minister welcomes the new student, helps guide them along through the academic year, and helps focus them on being part of the community of Lewis University. So there's the peer ministry program. We have several retreats. We have an upcoming retreat on November 7th through 9th, the Digging Deep retreat. That retreat is still available. There are openings for that retreat.
What is that?
It's a nature retreat. A group of students will be leading and guiding the retreat, and it will be happening out at Starved Rock. So it's a camping retreat.
Beautiful.
So if you're looking for some time in nature and to encounter the presence of God in nature, come and join us for the Digging Deep retreat. That's coming up. We do mission trips. There's a mission trip to the Philippines next June. So if you're interested in exploring the opportunity of working and living in the Philippines next summer, see Nia White about that, and there'll be future meetings about all of that as well.
That's great.
Could you talk a little bit more about the peer ministers? Like, how are they trained? Do they have different specializations or things that they specialize in, or in addition to their locations in the residence halls?
And maybe as you respond to this, could you also just say, for somebody that might be watching, what are the kind of sounds interesting to me. What kind of person would be good at that? Not just how I'm going to be trained, but like, who are the people that should, and how do they sign up?
Okay. That was like 7 questions, so we'll track them.
They're all around the
Nia White is the coordinator of the peer ministry program, and every spring by March she will put out the application process, and then there's an interview process as part of that, and then after the interview process, Nia and her team make a selection and then notify the applicants of whether they've been accepted as a peer minister. So in short, that's the process that goes on.
Good.
We have peer ministers that work not only in the dorms, but they run the student athlete Bible studies. They run the men's and women's spirituality group that students can participate in and take advantage of. There are peer ministers that work on service projects and engage. Last year, I think part of our service project was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that we took to the night ministry in Chicago that were distributed among the homeless at night. So that was a great project, and it was a great way to build community and bring people together as well. So there are all kinds of opportunities for different, you asked, for different talents to be utilized in terms of being a peer minister. And so Nia does a very good job of looking at what the gifts and talents are of the individual and what they can bring and how they can enhance the ministry that we're doing here on campus.
That's awesome.
I love that, because I think it really does. It's really helpful, I think, for somebody watching, because not everybody is either drawn to or has the talents. You know, some people might be really great retreat leaders. Other people might be really good at motivating people to make sandwiches and wanting to go out at 10 p.m. to deliver them. So there's just different things that different people want out of that.
And you mentioned about the retreat program. In the springtime, we'll have our annual Koinonia retreat. And the retreat team is already meeting and planning and working through their talks. And Venus Wozniak works with all of the Koinonia retreat leaders to prepare them to lead and guide the retreat experience. Now, you might ask me, why should I go on a retreat? Well, as you pointed out in this segment, all these activities and all these things that we're doing, sometimes it takes time to pull back and really reflect on our lives and what's going on and our connection to the sacred. And that's what a retreat does. And so who's welcome to that? Anyone in the community is welcome to that.
Well, and I think it's really good to emphasize that. Chris made this after we were talking about everything, but I think it's really, really helpful, because people who went to a Catholic high school, I've worked at, I think all 3 of us have worked at, retreats are it's a kind of part of what you learn, and you know what it is. And some kids, they don't really want to go to the retreat, but they go. Sometimes it's really life transformative. But we also have a lot of our students who went to public high schools and just like retreat. They don't even know what that means. So I appreciate you sharing. This is kind of what it means, but also saying as an invitation, you don't have to know much about this. If you want to get away a little bit, have a little space, and be with some people who also want some space and want to be reflective, you can go on that, and you don't need to feel scared. It's not intimidating. You don't have to have done some homework, so to speak, and know certain lingo. Because I think that's what sometimes keeps people away from mission and ministry work, is they walk by and they're like, I don't know anything about this. I'm going to sound stupid. I don't have this in my background. But I'm a seeker. I'm interested. I'm curious. But it just feels like crossing over that threshold might be, and I think we talk about that. You read the poem so well this year about, the immigrants and the notion of crossing through the door. Like we have all of our first year students walk through the encounter door. But I do think in that poem, there's this notion of, should I or not kind of cross over that threshold? Yeah. And I think for many people, we're all spiritual creatures, but for some people, crossing over that threshold is scary.
Absolutely.
And some of the bravery that's needed to do that is just about not being comfortable with the church, or not being comfortable with the terminology or all that kind of stuff as well. And I know we do a incredible job here of breaking through that. Which leads me to my question, which is, how does ministry kind of work with other offices on campus, especially student life ones, to connect both around just knowing students who are here, but also organizing activities and integrating that kind of more holistic student experience?
Well, the entire ministry team is part of the Interfaith Cooperation Committee, and so we look at how are we serving the entire community, and what can we do to continue to build relationships with each other here on the campus, and to know that everybody is welcome at the ministry center, and that they have a place there. And with our multi-faith chapel that we have available, any student that wants to come in of any religious tradition can access the multi-faith prayer room and spend some time in quiet meditation and engage with the holy as part of their life. Just because there's a bell on the tower of the building doesn't mean that it's only for some and not for others. Sure. It's for everyone, So that's one way. You'll see us participating in all kinds of activities throughout the year with the other community members of the community here.
For sure, yeah. So I love that.
So I'm going to try to do these three things, but it's the third one I want you to talk about because of your expertise. So you just mentioned, basically we have different religious traditions. So we have Muslims on campus, we have Christians on campus, Jewish people on campus, Hindus on campus. Then you get into just Christianity, and we have Baptists and Methodists and Catholics and Lutherans. And then you get into the Catholic world, and you're a Servite, and we're a Lasallian school. Could you talk a little bit about charism? Like, for some people, that is a totally foreign concept, because they just say there's Catholics, right? And they're done. But you have worked for the Lasallians for a long time, but you're a Servite. And of course, there's other charisms within the church. So could you just give a sense of what does that mean? I guess try to do it for somebody who doesn't know anything about anything. Like, I just think of Catholics. What are these things within the Catholic Church?
I'm a part of a religious order of priests and brothers that were established in 1233. We're part of the mendicant movement. Our particular charism that we bring as servants of Mary to the church, hopefully that others will see in us the gift of compassion, the gift of service, the gift of community, and to serve the church as Mother Mary served the church. So to give a witness of her compassion and love for others. That's our charism. Now, we're all part of this Lasallian mission and ministry here, and we follow St. John Baptist de La Salle's charism. And what is that? It's the education of the poor. It's allowing the spirit of his presence to be among us, and it's also recognizing that he called his prayer life was such that he used the phrase, let us remember we're in the presence of God. So the encounter in the educational world between faculty member and student, in that gap between the two of us is the presence of God, and that the sacred is in both of us. So it's in the encounter that the engagement that we encounter the sacred, the holy, between the two of us. I don't know if that answers it specifically answers your question, but here's the other side of all of that. There are all these religious communities that have happened, and so they each bring a special charism, a special gift to the world and to the church. And what they try to do is emulate that and share that out with everybody through their mission and ministry. And as they do that, the church grows. We get to see something different, and through that encounter we begin to reflect how are we molded, shaped, different because of that encounter.
No, that's really helpful. I think because some people just are confused by it. They just they hear all these languages, and it's just it's another thing that can put them off.
But you know what? That's the wonderful thing about being at a university. Explore. Explore all those things. Ask those questions. There's somebody here who's got an answer for you, or somebody who knows how to direct you to that answer. So it's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
To your point, what you said earlier today about, hey, there's all these opportunities. Take advantage of it. If you haven't been to a concert, go to a concert or to a play. And they're for free. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what question because we're running out of time. But
I'm sorry.
You know what I want to know the most?
Sure.
And I think about this all the time.
Well, I'm a golf coach.
No, Dave can ask you about that. I'm just really interested in Mass and how it's structured and and I just want to know a little bit about what goes into how you especially the homily, but really the things that you have control over that are variables in every Mass, music. How do you decide what to do?
Okay.
And how do you
think of it this way? It's 4 quarters, just like a football game.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the first quarter, which is gathering the assembly and praying, entering into the initial prayer. Second quarter is going through the readings and hearing the homily. Third quarter is preparing the table and celebrating the Eucharist. And the fourth quarter is reception of that Eucharist and then going out and serving the world as the presence of Christ in the world. So 4 quarters, okay? Football game.
Okay.
All right. Your second question was, how do we assemble all that? There's a team of ministers that work on the music. There's the choir that practices and rehearses all of that. I don't necessarily do that. I have input into all of that, but there's a whole...
And that's typical, right, to have a musical director, right?
Exactly. And then my job is to do the preparation of the homily and figure out, okay, what are these readings telling us today? How are they impactful in today's environment, even though they were written so many years ago? And then what's the messaging? What does the community need to hear so that they could take it home and be inspired for the rest of their lives?
Thank you. I love that. You're connecting what the community seems to need with the texts themselves, which are predetermined.
Right.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
It's
a beautiful exercise.
The table ministry is the table ministry, and all are welcome to the table. Come and be fed, and on to the journey.
Yeah. It's go ahead.
I was just going to say maybe last question.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I mean, I guess it's both a. It's a question and a comment. So I want to just, again, thank you. We said this in your opening remarks, but you've had an incredible career, life of giving to others through the many ministries you've done. So I guess my final question is, how has university ministry been different than the other places you've been? And if there were one or two things that have really, we all have a life that gives us different things at different moments of our life. But I guess, how has being on a university campus enriched you at this point in your life? Because you were in high school environments, you've been in church environments. How does the university differ or offer something unique to you?
Good question. Like the students that come to the Mission and Ministry Center, they're trying to figure out, do I really like this? Is this where I want to spend my life? And I had a similar experience. I started out my career in parish ministry. I used to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and say Mass for 5 old ladies that were sitting there. God bless them.
My mother loved that. My mother did that for 20 years.
I've often
God bless you for doing that.
I have to say, as an early riser, I'm often with those 5 ladies, just the 6 of us. So
at that point in my life, I was not an early riser. And I wasn't passionate about it. An opportunity opened up to become a faculty member at De La Salle Institute and to begin teaching there in the religious studies department. And I remember standing at the mirror at 5 o'clock in the morning, brushing my teeth and thinking to myself, how am I going to engage my students? What questions am I going to ask? Who didn't answer a question yesterday? And I remember being on fire and thinking to myself, this is the best job in the world. And I said to myself as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm never leaving education until they force me out of this. Fast forward, I did 9 years as a faculty member and began as a campus minister at the high school level.
Okay.
So I'm coming to your answer.
No, that's great. Great.
And so I did that for 9 years. I left and was superior from my religious community of priests and brothers for 6 years. And then an opportunity came to come back to De La Salle, but only this time as the president. And I loved it, and it was a great job, and I know all the headaches that go along with it in terms of leadership, but the amount of service that the two of you do on behalf of all of us to keep this university strong and steady and growing, thank you. Thank you both.
Thanks.
So where am I going with this? I did that for 14 years. I went on sabbatical at Notre Dame University in a program designed for 20 people who had finished their first careers and were looking at what's next. And while I was on the campus, I kept thinking to myself, I want to do this. I need to be in an environment with students. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what's life-giving to me. So when the opportunity came for this position as chaplain, I jumped at it and wanted to be part of that. Now you asked, what's the difference? I feel like I'm returning back to the high school campus ministry mission that I had of engaging students and working with them and helping them with their questions, but it's so much more fun. And it's more fun because of the diversity of our students, both not only culturally and academically, and all of the majors, but there are those that are on campus, those that are commuters, those that are remote. And how do you engage all these people and help their questions and help them grow in their faith? That's the fun part of it all, is trying to figure it all out.
Well, we're glad you're having fun.
Yeah, we're totally glad
so
you're having
happy
fun.
that you're here making an impact along with your wonderful colleagues that you mentioned earlier. We're really grateful.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you both.
Thank you to you and the team. It really is a gift to the university. So thank you for your work. So unfortunately, we could go on for another hour, but we have to wrap this up. It's really been great. I just want to say to each and every one of you, enjoy the holiday. I'm not likely to dress up tomorrow, but some of you may, and you should really enjoy that. Like, have fun, enjoy the holiday. And many blessings to you and all those that you love.